look at a hairdryer, air comes in the back and it has to go through this netting and then it comes out hot to dry your hair. And it was not working. And I'm scratching it. And Holy Spirit says, Carolyn, unscrew the back of that and run it through some water. And he said, it'll get rid of the crud that's the hairspray, whatever. And so your hair will dry. And so I did. And he said, I want you to remember that. So I'm like, okay, well, I didn't think anything more about it. It worked. I could get hot air to dry my hair. So the following weekend, I go back home. We lived in West Tennessee then. And the following weekend, I had been invited to an inner healing conference at a church in the Franklin area. And so I wasn't able to go the Friday night, but I was able to go to the Saturday morning. And as I'm getting into this, the conference, the worship was off the charts. And I can't honestly say I've been in the kingdom since 1982. So I've been a believer for many, many years. And so just to have the worship, the freedom, I mean, literally you could feel heaven on earth. And I was like, Lord, what's going on? And he said, well, this room is full of women and men who are going after their heart being healed up. And he said, I want you to pay very close attention to that. And he said, and I also want you to have the man that was leading us in worship to pray for you. And so I was like, okay, well, I kind of hesitated, but I thought, how am I going to ask him to pray for me? Well, somehow he's walking out and I'm walking in and I ran into him and the Holy Spirit said, ask him now. And so I said, would you care to pray for me? And so he begins to prophesy over me but the presence of God he carried, I honestly have never had an encounter like that before. And I could hardly stand up. And it was all I could do is to get back to my chair and sit. And I mean, I was really, I can't explain it because I could feel so much of the Holy Spirit. I can feel it now as going back to that memory. And so I'm sitting in it, and the Holy Spirit says, remember what happened with your hairdryer last weekend? And I'm like, yeah. And he said, I want your heart to be cleaned up and healed and made whole, just like the back of that hairdryer. Because when your heart is cleaned up and made whole, I can flow through and your giftings can come forth, whether it's music, whether it's whatever it is. And at that time, I didn't paint, I didn't write, I didn't do any of that. And so I know, right? And so it was amazing. And I just felt like he was saying, I have intentionality, Carolyn, for you to get your heart healed, because I want you to flow through purity, flow with a pure heart. And it was so funny is when I became a believer, I started quoting, I didn't really have anybody to really help me, but created me a clean heart, O Lord, and renew a right persevering spirit within me. I prayed that every day for probably 30 plus years. And here I'm in inner healing, right? So anyway, it was really crazy because that was the beginning of getting me to start into the painting, into the art. So wow, I had to get my heart clean.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool because I love Graham Cook. Listen, y'all.
I do too.
If you want to get any religious spirit broken off, if you just listen to Graham Cook.
Yeah.
So incredibly crazy. Awesome. I have learned so much over the years through his ministry, and it has helped me heal in a lot of areas. And so with that being said, you had me at Graham Cook whenever you went there. I mean, he's not Jesus, y'all, but he listens to Jesus and has amazing teachings. So I just want to give a shout out to him for that.